Okay, folks, what we have here is a game called Guildhall. This is the version called Fellowship. We're going to do a little quick run through with our friend and store regular Alex.
Hi.
So, what do you like about Guildhall?
I think one of the things I like about Guildhall is I was a classic Magic player, and I ran into the issue where a lot of players either stopped being fun to play with, or it got to the point very quickly where building my deck and stuff cost so much money that I didn't feel like dumping into it. I kind of lost interest in the game. Guildhall is a really good bridge because it's similar enough in Magic and its gameplay style that it's familiar and quick to pick up on. It's still fun without being so cost expensive. And the nice thing about the Guildhall versions that I've played is it plays up to 4 people out of a single box instead of everyone having to build their own decks and bring your own stuff.
That's a good point. So it actually brings down the costs, and the cost prohibitiveness of Magic can be astronomical if you're looking for tournament style. So this is a nice 4 people playing out of 1 box type game. So let's get into it. What do we have here in front of us?
Okay, so we have each of the different jobs, and then an example of the colors that are available in each job that you use to close out your Guildhall and play the game.
Okay, so what we have here is a Druid. A Druid has different styles it can play. It depends on how many you have in your Guildhall. Your Guildhall is your save area. If you have a lot of them saved already, as you play subsequent ones, they do more powerful things. If you have none in your guild, if you have no cards saved, then they generally do less powerful stuff, but they still have actions. So if you look at a monk close enough, you can see that there's a 0 capability, and then there's a 2 and a 4. That number relates to however many monks you have in your guild. So they'll get more powerful the deeper you go. The drawback is...
The drawback is it can be hard to save all those characters in your guild because other players are constantly trying to take or kill off your pieces, or can even simply just mess you up by closing out guilds before you can.
That's a very good point. So how you save them is the card. You have 2 actions on your turn. You cannot play the same job twice, so I can never go Druid. I can also never play a purple Druid if I have a purple Druid. So the only way you can get multiple kinds is to have multiple colors of each job. So if I've already got a red and a blue Druid, and then and a green Druid, I would have 3 of them saved. And as I played my purple Druid, he would do his power level 3 ability. So what we're trying to do in this game, though, is get all 5 of the colors, and as we do that, we turn them over and close them. So then they're now off the side, and I can use them to spend. And what can I spend them for?
So we can spend them on these cards here that come up as we play the game, and what these do, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the number in the skull is the victory points you get for purchasing this card. The icon at the top tells us how many closed guilds it takes, so in this case you get 3 victory points for turning in 1 guild. So if Matt were to turn in his guild of druids, he would be able to buy this card. He'd get 3 victory points and it would cost 1. And at the bottom of the card, it has different actions it does.
So you can take less victory points, because this is also a 1 book to buy. This is 5 victory points. This is 3, but the 3 gives you a slight bonus. You can mess with somebody else's guild, or you can get some other feature, extra actions, for instance. Things that will actually help you, benefit you in a different way. So you can't take less. What's the goal? What's the goal version?
So the goal is to get 20 victory points to win. And there's a few ways you can get victory points throughout the game, but the easiest is to just try to close out as many guilds as you can and aim to get these cards so you can get to 20 and win.
Is there any way to win this game in 2 turns?
Nope.
How many turns would you say would take for a minimum Guildhall game between 2 people?
At least probably 20.
Okay, so about 20 turns before you can possibly win this game. So there's a lot of playability available in this. The other versions of Guildhall does have other jobs. I have not, this is my opinion, I have not found a job that's so superior that if you had it in your version of Guildhall, it would dominate everything. What do you think?
I don't think so. We spent quite a bit of time playing the different versions of Guildhall and trying to break the games best we could. I don't think we've really come up with any invincible combos or unbreakable machines that you can do to really rag on somebody or to just mill a ton of victory points all at once like you can in Magic.
Is there any other way to get victory points besides cards?
Besides the cards, there are certain jobs that will get victory points. For example, I don't know if this version has it. Oh yes, the Ranger does. So for the Ranger, there's an X instead of a number for his power level, so however many you have saved. determines his ability instead of if you have 0, 2, 3, 4.
So give me an example if I had 2 Rangers saved.
So if you had 2 Rangers saved, the way this card works is you'd get that number of victory points. So you'd get 2 victory points just for playing the Ranger.
How would I keep track of those?
There's these tokens that come with it. So these are the card victory points you get if you cash in your guild halls to get them. If you play a card like the Ranger to get victory points, there are 2 different token styles that come with the box. There is a 1 token and a 5 token. And these, or whatever cards you get, you just try to save up to get to 40.
Alright, so what do we think? Thumbs up on this game?
I think so.
Yep. Any other questions or any concerns, or you want to talk about each job individually? You want to give a quick run through?
I definitely think doing a run through of the jobs is probably a good idea because of the synergy between each job and how they can kind of work together when you play the game itself.
Okay, so this is the version Fellowship. We have 6 jobs available. We did a brief talk about druids. Druids have the ability to gain new cards. So if I had 1 druid in my guild and I played one, it would give me extra cards in my hand. If I have 3, it gives me some more cards in my hand. What is another job that you see here?
So another job that we kind of familiar to any of our fantasy people is to have a fighter. And what the fighter does is he goes into an enemy's guild and kills off 1 card from any job. So if Matt had 4 druids saved up and he was about ready to close out his book and I played a fighter, he now has to re-get a blue druid on top of whatever the color he missed.
The other cool thing about the synergy of that is that we have this card, the Bard, and the Bard allows you to go through the discard pile and swap one with your guild. So if I use the Fighter and Bard in conjunction and I need a blue druid, then I can kill somebody's blue druid with my Fighter, and then I can pull it out with my Bard. What's another one? We already talked about Rangers.
Yeah, we already talked about the Ranger, which is just your easy, simple, get a few victory points right away, depending on how many you have saved. We've also got the Monk, and the Monk is pretty interesting because depending on how many you have, however many cards are in your hand, right?
You take a card directly from
Yeah, you
your
take a hand. Yeah, so the Monk is nice because instead of having to play a card to put it into your guild, he lets you just take it right from your hand and put it in if it plays. At his 0 level, so if this is the first time I've played him, I get to do it with just 1. And then at his 2 and 4 level, depending on how many I have in my hand, I can put those in my guild, but then I have to swap them with a card.
So a little bit different function. So the Sorcerer has this ability that he allows you to take a card out of your guild into your hand and gives you another action. At level 3, you actually take a card from somebody else's guild into your hand and gives you another action. So the Sorcerer can be kind of cool too, but it only works if you already have one in your guild. So with a Monk combination, I can play a Monk and put a Sorcerer in my guild and then play a Sorcerer and he'll be functional. So there's a really cool mechanism in this. I think the other thing I really like about this game is that if you play card synergy games like this, usually you run out of cards, but we don't have to worry about that. Why?
Because it's nearly impossible to run out of cards, and if for whatever reason our draw pile does run out, with all the guilds that we've turned in.
How do you get cards into your hand?
Through either you can take one of your actions to draw cards and discard cards that you can't use, or there's certain cards that will give you cards throughout the game.
So if you're ever empty on your hand and you're looking to get extra cards in your hand, you can always just discard as many as you like and then redraw your hand up to 6. So you're never hurting for cards in this game. You just have to burn one of your actions to get them. So if you have a handful of junk, dump them all out of your hand, redraw to 6, or burn one of your actions, and then you can play again.
Which is really nice because I know in other card synergy games I've played, you run into the problem where you have just a junk hand and you're stuck with all these cards that you can't do anything with. This game has found a way to kind of work around that, work around the situation. It has a pretty easy solution.
All right.
All right.
It's a thumbs up. We like Guildhall.